Key market needs within industrial security is an interesting question because there's many factors currently pushing on it, and it tends to be a reflection on the maturity, I think, of the specific industry and even in the geography as well. For example, in North America, there's a long history of a compliance force sort of thing within power, and we're seeing very interesting iterations of how that's turning out into the debate between being compliant and minimal compliance versus actually embracing what it's all about and striving towards a more secure and robust operational environment. Other industries and geographies are seeing the need to lead. I think you yourself, when we discussed this morning, were talking about some of the leadership in the rail industry, especially in the Netherlands. So there are leaders that are pulling the rest of us into it, but in many cases it's driven by a heightened awareness in cybersecurity issues and the understanding of the prevalence and the interconnectivity of computers and control systems, especially the emergence of IoT in computer systems everywhere. Solving the IT-OT convergence is an interesting phrase because everybody tries different things to different levels of success, and it boils down to culture. In many cases, IT is an evil necessity that facilitates connectivity, productivity, et cetera, on the IT side, but on the OT side, when they realize that spending money on security doesn't make more megawatts or keep the plant up faster or get you to 110% of rated capacity, it's a little more difficult sell. So you have a different language on the OT side, you have a different expectation on the OT side. I can walk through any plant and show you a $500,000 spare generator to keep them online, but I can't help them to find $30,000 to $50,000 for a gap analysis. Some organizations are taking that challenge and saying they want to pair the IT people with the OT people and hoping to learn those different languages to varying levels of success. But overall, we're seeing one way or the other crash course of IT tools and IT expectations now starting to be fit into the OT world because the technology exists and the risk is present on the OT side with the prevalence of Windows, Linux, Unix, IT, TCP/IP connectivity, remote access, IoT, you name it. So there's definitely a crash course coming, and some are getting out ahead of it and putting those teams together, and others are learning that the best possible path forward is to use each skill set in their own expertise. So we're seeing a real rise of the collection of information and the use of IT tools in an OT space, but being collected up into a IT SOC to be able to give that IT expertise to the intelligence and the data, but allowing the operational side to act upon it. That's, to me, the true success. I'd like to think that we're hearing so much about OT security because I've been on the speaking circuit for 12 years, but I don't think it's anything that grand. I think that with the prevalence of the IoT and the explosion of control systems and just general awareness, that we're starting to finally see momentum. It takes a while for things to take off. We've been seeing different industry initiatives for up to 15, 17, 18 years now, so it's not a surprise that we're finally getting there. I still am somewhat discouraged in many cases that we go to different trade shows and we're saying the things that we've been saying for 15, 16 years, and people are furiously scribbling notes because it's like it's the first time they've heard it. So on the one hand, I'm happy we're here. On the other, we think we still have a lot of work to do. I think that there's a prevalence of script kiddies. There's the ability for everyone to play with tools on the internet. I mean, Shamoon was arguably a commercial response to a disgruntled employee that took a component of Stuxnet that was freely available on the dark market for $50 and took it into corporate network and got revenge on his overlord employers as he sort of saw it. So as more and more technology is made available and the internet allows for the purchase and transfer and whatnot of different tools, the ability to bundle existing technology, albeit dark technology, becomes more prevalent and easy, and what many people think is a fun game or a nuisance turns into something dangerous. We have one example, it's well noted, of a power company who lost control of a central FTP server that they used for reporting load capacity in different regions, and some kids had found that it was unsecured and used it to to host an online gaming tool. So, I mean, sometimes it's malicious and sometimes it's just convenience. But as we get more connected and the tools become more automated, including the exploit tools, I think we're going to see more and more of it. The basic approach from Verve Security and Verve Industrial Protection is quite simply, we want to simplify the OT security experience. There is tremendous noise in the market. There are tremendous technologies available, and making heads or tails of where you start and how you go forward is a huge benefit to our clients. You yourself mentioned this morning that many of these industries are looking for leadership. The leadership is usually centered around what do we do, how do we do it, and how do we get there. Security is a journey, and the sooner you can have sort of a plan and a platform, which is what we provide, and the platform extends from front end, helping you figure out and planning, to actually putting tools in place and then bringing the care and feeding at the back end to get value from those tools. Now you've started to build a program, much like a safety program, much like a maintenance program, the more established programs we see in OT space, and develop a more formalized approach to it. The sooner you start to get benefit and get compound gains.